Greetings to all, this is AikawaKazu once again and bringing you the Manticore Nest solo guide. So why solo guide? Because this guide will not teach you how to run the nest. I mean it does, but it's more pertaining to soloing the guide itself. So if you're looking for a Manticore Nest guide, better off looking at dragonnestblog.com, where they actually have very good guides for Manticore and as well as Apocalypse Nest. So you know, check it out there if you're looking for a general guide. So this guide is more to some things you might need to know to try to solo the guide. Solo the nest itself, where you can get the title called Pretty. I think many female players who want to get this title, maybe not just female players, some male players who are playing female characters who want this title called Pretty, which you will get if you manage to successfully solo the nest. So what about this nest? At the start, before you enter the first stage boss area, there's actually two statues. You can destroy them to get food. The one on the right actually gives you damage food, the one on the left gives you defense food. Upon entering the first stage boss area, you'll see all these irritating stone and red little monsters spawning. I'll call them demons, I guess. And following that will be these gargoyle images and the red one as well. So what you want to do is you want to pull them off to the side to kill them and not in the center, because the center statue actually heals any monsters for 6000 HP per 3 seconds or so every time when they are within the area of effect. So you want to fight all the monsters on the sides. So what you need to watch out for this boss is this green AoE buff that you cast on the floor. If you are caught in it, you'll be trapped and pretty much trapped for about 4 to 5 seconds. However, if there's any mobs that actually hits you, you'll be broken out of the trap, but you still do not want to be caught in there anytime possible. Also, the boss will release some poison fumes which he casts usually around him and goes in an outward fashion. You don't want to be caught in that as well, as it poisons you for about 300 to 500 per tick, so you don't want to get that as well. Besides that, the boss is actually quite easy. Just remember that you want to fight all monsters in this area at the sides, not anywhere near the center, or they'll heal for about 6000 HP for every 3 seconds. So that is not one thing that you want to do. So right now, as you can see, I'm actually waiting for the cooldown of my potions and my ultimates, because not really HP, because you'll be able to refuel your HP at the Naga boss. I'll explain that later on, but more so your ultimate, because for the Minotaur boss you'll be engaging 4 Minotaurs at the same time. There's a possibility of that happening, but obviously the guide is not going to tell you to do that. So the concept here is to isolate all 4 Minotaurs in their respective cells. That means you'll tackle one Minotaur at the same time. The reason why you don't want to tackle the Minotaurs at the same time is because they actually can buff one another. They have attack buffs, defense buffs, which actually stacks up. And should all these buffs stacks up together, my 12k triple slash will only do like 2.4k. So that's very little damage, so you do not want that to happen. So right now, I'm trying to find out which cage has opened. Once you know that the cage is open, run to the first cage that spawns. Hopefully it's not the boss, and just take him down as fast as possible, because you want to tackle as little Minotaurs at the same time as possible. And right now the second cage is open, and it's the one that's directly opposite. This is one of the more unlucky situations that you'll face, but still fine because this first Minotaur is already on low HP. So the reason why you want to fight them and bait them into their cages is because Minotaurs can't actually run in a curved manner. They actually charge at you in a straight line. So if the adjacent cages actually open, they won't make it to you. Right now you can see that the third cage has already opened and the Minotaur is not anywhere near me. It's actually blocked by the scenery environment because he can only dash in a straight line. We will eventually make it here, but it will take a while, which actually buys me a lot of time to take down the second Minotaur. So this will just happen repeatedly until you tackle the last one. And for me, I was pretty lucky. The last cage I opened was actually the boss. So right now the second Minotaur is already almost dead, and by the time the main boss comes, probably this third Minotaur is already down. So this is one of the more ideal situations that you can face. But the most ideal situation is the first cage spawning that's not a boss, and then the adjacent cage not a boss, and then the third cage not a boss as well, and then finally the last one is the boss. I got the most, I didn't get the most lucky variation, but I got one of the luckier ones. So right now, just gonna take down the third Minotaur and then move on to the boss. So just take note that Minotaurs can't run in a curved manner, and make use of that. So make sure you lure them deep into their cells and just fight them over there. So the main boss doesn't have anything that you need to worry about. It's the same old Minotaur you have faced since Manticore Nest and 0Deaths Nest. He does have some buff. I think it's attack buff and defensive buff that will make your physical damage skills reduce damage. So just watch out for his Storm and tumble or dodge away from his charging. The Storm can actually slow you down, so just time your tumble or dodge to totally avoid that and simply take down the boss. Later on, I'll be showing a short 2 to 3 seconds of what you can do if you are unlucky. Basically, it's the same concept where I actually attempt to isolate 2 Minotaur commanders in the cage and then lure the main boss out because of the reason that they can only run in a straight line. So just stay on for that while we take down the last boss. I mean the last Minotaur. Always remember to drink your potions when they're off cooldown, both MP and HP. More MP for warriors because we actually need to dash around a lot to dodge here and there, so MP is a problem, but maybe for casters, MP not really a problem. So here's the short clip. So right now we'll be tackling the third boss, which is the Naga. This boss is very crucial for you to regain your HP that you have lost in the earlier 2 boss fights. There will be a mechanic that actually allows you to do so. Firstly, you will see a countdown that starts in 3 seconds. Look for a crystal that rises up and then run to the platform with the corresponding crystal. The platform with the corresponding crystals actually heals about 2.1k per second, and this healing will actually out-heal any damage that the boss does to you. So if you are a class that doesn't have parrying stance or any skill that can negate damage like block from priests and clerics, priests and paladins, you are still fine. It's just that you'll take a longer time to regain full health. I strongly advise any class or anyone to recover their HP to 100% in this area, because in the stone golem area it's pretty much luck and play, because even though there's a chance that he will drop food, the food might be food that doesn't give you any HP at all. So strongly advise people to regain to about 100% HP in this area. For this boss, he has about 3 basic attacks. One is the one where he does a series of hack and slash in a straightforward manner where it's about 3 hack and slash. And the other one will be the one where he does a tear swipe. And then the last one will be him turning behind him and then do a cut or something, some sorts. So for melee characters or classes that is more physical, you can actually wait for that window of opportunity where he turns around, and when he faces his back against you, you can use your physical damage skills. But for Sword Masters, it's actually even more simple. Just use your Eclipse, Moonlight Slash, and then Moonlight Splitter, and then Cyclone Slash, and just withdraw the boss down until you get to full HP. I would advise Sword Masters to actually use parrying stance, counter wave or counter slash to kill the boss, because that ensures that you will have 100% HP by the time the boss dies. This is what I attempt to do in this video. So once again, as I mentioned, strongly advise people to get to full HP in this area, because even though the stone golem boss will have a chance to drop HP or MP food or defense food, you might not get the one that you want. So right now, just killing the boss with counter wave and counter slash using my parrying stance. For other classes, you may want to time your ultimate to one-shot the boss at the end. So once the boss is down, similarly to the previous 2 boss fights, you'll wait for your HP potions, cooldowns, and your ultimate cooldowns. For the golden boss, if your ultimate is about halfway done, you can actually go ahead, because the mechanic to the golden boss later on, it will be that you need to destroy all his minions before you can actually damage him. He has a invulnerability defense buff up until all his little minions are dead. So these crystals actually take a bit to kill. And the success to actually doing a Manticore Nest solo actually depends on this boss fight, because the first 3 bosses, there are ways where you can regain your health, but for this stone golem boss, no. He hits hard, there's some mechanics that you can't dodge while you're trying to tackle these little golems. So don't rely on what food you actually get during the respawn of the golems to the successfulness of your Manticore solo run. My first successful run actually dropped me MP food, and that is definitely not really useful to me because I had to do the boss with about 50% HP left. However, just make sure that you lose as little HP as possible in this boss fight, and the key to that, I guess, is to finish the boss as fast as possible and to get hit as little as possible. It's not easy, definitely, took me a lot of runs to do so, but it's possible. So once you destroy the stone golems, the shield will go down and you have a chance to DPS the boss. Boss has 4 main skills: his rolling attack, his stone throw attack, and he'll do one which is like this, where he flings a bunch of rocks in a frontal AoE fashion. Avoid that just by standing behind the boss. Right now, the golem seals has reactivated, and this means that the golem minions will respawn and you need to kill all of them again to deactivate his shield. In this instance, I was very lucky to get HP 50%, and this is why I get a little careless in fighting this boss. I mean, I have HP 50%, so I don't really care if I get hit at this juncture. However, if you don't get that particular food, do not follow my footsteps and try to avoid as much as possible. The last attack the boss can use is this shockwave that he sends throughout the whole map. Doesn't hit really hard, but it actually uplifts you into the air, and it's very irritating. It usually comes in a 2-chain attack where he will slam the ground and then the shockwave will explode outwards. So basically that's it for the stone golem. Know the 4 skills he uses and avoid them. By usually standing behind the boss, or time your dodge and tumble to use the invincibility frames to avoid the damage. So if you don't have at least 50% HP and above before the Manticore, then chances of you dying at Manticore at the end is very high because of some luck factor. I mean, you can be skillful to dodge all the attack, but sometimes you're just unlucky and you get hit by his tail swipe or his front paws, or you get hit by some damage that you couldn't avoid. So just try to avoid those. Do use your ultimate definitely for this stone golem boss at the end to kill him as fast as possible, and after which you will just drain your HP and MP food until you are around at least 50%. I would recommend at least half HP against Manticore, because that will be about how much buffer you give yourself to be able to deal with the boss. So similarly to the other bosses, we'll wait for ultimates cooldown. So right now I'll skip that for you and we'll cut it short. So basically for Manticore, right, you do not want to rush and enter the portal once you destroy it, because he'll cast his gravity ascension skill, and if you just go in immediately, you will get caught in it and die. So don't follow me as I walk towards the portal to scare you. Yeah, so don't do it. Wait for him to finish casting and then go inside the portal. The first skill he will do is a gravity ball. For some reason I just can't seem to dodge it. I mean, I can dodge the second part of the explosion, but I can't dodge the first one. So the first skill that you want to look out for at a 5x HP bar and 4x is his little firing of his poison darts, as well as his front claw slash if you're in front of the boss. So always try to avoid the front claw slash because it does about 3000 damage. So I mean, before the boss even gets to cast his other more sophisticated skills, you're already half dead. So the first thing you need to learn is to dodge that. So right now I'm getting used to the timing. Still get hit now for 3.4k, but subsequently I will be able to dodge them. So always save your dodge and humble for his front slash skill, because that's the one that will wither you down to very low HP at the start. The other skill you need to watch out for afterwards is his whirlwind skill, where he will start clawing the air and about 4 whirlwinds will spawn and they will start moving outwardly. So at the start, if he flies up into the air, he will just land straight away. So just time yourself to jump to negate the damage if you do a parrying stance like warriors, or blocks like priests and paladins. You see, once again, he's still using his front claw slash. So for the first half of the boss, it's just simply avoiding that. So what's my strategy to defeating the boss? Actually, it's pretty simple. You just need to break his super armor and stun the boss. So that's the reason why I've been standing at the front of the boss. And right now you see that I'm not using my ultimate straight away, which is what most people will do. I will break his super armor again before using. See, this is the second time I break his super armor, because the ultimate itself usually breaks the super armor of the boss. So right now I broke his super armor 3 times to stun him. And this gives me a lot of time to DPS the boss without worrying for any skills to cast. And right now it's already down to 2x HP. So that is definitely looking good for me. So this red glowing attack that is charging now will be the black hole, so that's the sign to run away from it. You have no need to use dash for it, but if you're close to the boss, probably running won't be enough. Once the boss gets to 2x HP and below, he'll start casting this Gravity Ascension skill. The daily combo that you want to watch out for will be the Whirlwind plus Gravity Ascension combo. Because sometimes when you cast the Whirlwind, you'll move away from the boss, and then the boss will cast Gravity Ascension straight after that, and with all the blurriness of the Whirlwind, you can't really see the AoE on the floor, so do look out for that. So right now I'm attempting to break the super armor of the boss again. So this is the Whirlwind skill once again, and the reason why I'm backing out, as you can see, is because it's doing the Whirlwind plus Gravity Ascension combo. So right now I managed to avoid that. So back to smashing the boss again, trying to get to his head so I can break his super armor. Okay, this is one skill that I've failed to recognize and it hurts a lot. Basically the boss will still charge up into the air and he slams down, casting crescent cleave-like attacks on the floor. So when you get hit, every wave do about 2.3k damage per tick, so that is not something you want to get hit by, and that is one of the attacks that is harder to differentiate away from the black hole, which you might want to look out for as well. Still dodging front claw slashes here, as you can see, and the lower HP bars he gets, the more he will cast his Gravity Ascension skill. So right now I managed to break his super armor again, so breaking super armor of his head is pretty much the strategy to defeating this boss. So you want to be at the front of his head most of the time. Don't go to his back because he has another attack which is the tail swipe, and the tail swipe hits for 3.4k as well. So right now it's going to cast another Whirlwind, and I'm going to finish him off with my ultimate. So basically the time taken to kill the boss will be about 2 ultimates worth of time, and if you are taking that amount of time, you're fine. There's a few skills that I didn't actually mention, which is how to differentiate between the slam down skill where he sends out crescent cleave waves to the one where he actually just do the black hole. When he does the black hole, only one of his paws actually go up into the air, the other one will be on the ground. So that's one way to differentiate. And the other one that I didn't mention is once he's below 2x HP and he flies into the air, he will start casting gravity balls at you. So to avoid them, just make sure that they are always moving. And how do you know when to actually jump? Just know that by the feel of the second wave. When the second wave has landed on the ground, get ready to jump. You can pretty much jump like about 1 second or half a second after that. So that's one way. I got pretty bad loots for this run, but it's fine. And yep, that's it guys. That's all for the Manticore Nest solo guide. I hope it has helped you. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at kazudragonc@gmail.com. Like and subscribe if you haven't, and thanks for watching. I'll definitely do a hell mode guide once I actually successfully solo it without dying, but that'll be probably a while later. And there you have it, the pre-title. Congrats to you in advance if you're getting in the future, and I'll see you next time.